It's been quite a while since we last heard of Rihanna's clothing line Fenty, and that's because, well, it isn't doing all that great. Hello there, guys. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to take a look at why Rihanna's Fenty clothing line failed. Number 5. Fenty's run. Fenty came into existence almost a couple of years back. It was launched by Rihanna with LVMH, but from the looks of it, the company's already going down the drain. By that, we mean that it's already gone on a hiatus. For instance, there are no new stores, and there'll also be no new releases anytime soon. It'll apparently stay this way until things get better, which doesn't look like it's anywhere near the horizon. Things were looking pretty good for Fenty at first. Heck, it had its peak when it came to business during the pandemic last year, which was when most fashion brands were going through a hard time, but sadly, this golden age was short-lived. On top of that, another sad fact about the company is that it started off with good intentions, having diversity as its main focus, but well, the world's an unfair place. Number 4. Why the company seems to be failing. When Fenty first launched back in May of 2019, the only reason people got to know about it was because of Rihanna's involvement with it. It was that and the success of her lingerie label Savage and Fenty and cosmetic line Fenty Beauty. You see, Rihanna, being one of the most influential people alive, with a following of tens of millions on social media, kickstarted her brands with her success as an artist. However, the thing with celebrity business ventures is that they may start off strong, but their strength starts to wane with time, and sadly, this was also the case with Fenty. Centered on Rihanna, developed by her, and taking shape with her vision in terms of ready-to-wear, shoes and accessories, including commerciality and communication of the brand, was how Fenty was defined. So in other words, the company was more about Rihanna than its products, which was one of the contributing factors to its downfall. People assumed it was not your regular old celebrity brand, but it turns out it was just that. Number 3. The utter lack of real-world marketing. At the time of its inception, and as it went on, Fenty was quite similar to other brands in the fashion industry. More particularly, celebrity brands such as Beyoncé's House of Darion and Kanye's old company Pastel. There really wasn't anything that stood out in how Fenty appeared on the map. One thing that was somewhat different about Fenty from all those brands that we just mentioned was that Fenty had no physical stores or anything like that. It ran completely through its website. The only time you would ever see Fenty on the shelf of a department store would be when a new collection would drop and they'd pay different stores to sell them as pop-ups. The thing with such type of marketing is that it's fine in the beginning stages of a business being set up and started, but the sooner one transitions into a physical store or a chain of them, the better. In Fenty's case, this transition never happened, and the company started crumbling before that. Before we continue, do be sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying this video. Also, don't forget to press that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any more of our upcoming content. Now let's get back to what we were talking about. Number 2. Bad pricings. Another thing that contributed to Fenty's failure were their bad pricings, and by bad pricings, we mean that they were way too high for most people to afford. Like on their website, the t-shirts were listed for around $200 a piece, while shoes were no less than $700 a pair. Some clothing items were also sold for more than $1,000. This was the type of pricing that only the people who were well off could dabble into, or perhaps those who are hardcore fans of Rihanna. Sure, you could argue that there are a whole lot of other brands who sell at prices just as high or even higher and are doing quite well for themselves. The difference between those brands and Fenty is that Fenty, as we said, is a celebrity brand. Celebrity brands only tend to pull off being successful at high prices when their products are extraordinary, but it looks like people weren't really sold on Fenty products, and a part of that was due to their costs. Number 1. Big ambitions, no substance. Fenty apparently had a lot of big ambitions. They tried to throw in a lot of variety when it came to their clothing, but perhaps it was too much variety. The problem with that was Fenty bit off more than they could chew. They started off projects with high hopes, but from the looks of it, abandoned them midway or just didn't put that much effort into them. Look at it this way. When you hear Fenty, nothing particular pops into your head except it being a brand that Rihanna started. With that, they even lacked good editorial coverage as well as endorsements from fellow celebrities. So in a nutshell, even though the brand had high hopes for itself, it came short on a lot of them. With this, we've come to the end of our video. This was a deep dive into why Rihanna's clothing line Fenty failed.